What stopped you from committing suicide? My dog, and that I'd be met with a ticked off dad on the other side for it. Yeah. Damn. Glad you're wearing it around your waist and not otherwise. Believing I won't go to heaven if I take my own life. Today may suck, but tomorrow's a mystery. I was too lazy. At 13, took a bunch of pills. Hindsight, they wouldn't have killed me anyways. Immediately after I took them, a friend called me saying he wanted to check on me because I didn't see myself that day. Just having a friend to talk to and knowing someone noticed me was enough for me to make myself throw them all up. I'm no longer close with this friend and have never thanked him for that call. Because I don't want to kill myself. I'm just waiting for my mom to pass so she doesn't have to deal with the heartbreak. Fear of death. Also, I don't want to leave my dog and my mom behind. My dad. He's had so many friends die extremely young, most from disease, alcoholism, or vehicle accidents. I've just kind of been coasting through life, staying alive because my death might be a burden financially due to student debt. Then my dad's best friend shot himself about a year ago, and my parents were the ones who found him. I have no idea how my dad keeps going after having gone through so much. But this most recent loss got me thinking about what burying a child might do to my dad, and whenever I'm going through a rough time, that's been enough of a reminder why I have to keep going. The overdose apparently was just a dose. First time was looking to the left and realizing the mental damage that would be caused. Second time was a text from a friend telling me to come round and play drinking games. On the darkest of days, the mind clouds all the bright spots in your life. I haven't felt that low in almost 2 years and feel as though I'm in a better place now. Hesitation wounds. So far, my 8-year-old corgi, when she passes, I too will decide if I've had enough. My fiancé. My cats. Music. Good luck with everything to you. I considered the fact that it might set off a string of suicides in my family that would decimate my bloodline forever. So now I numb myself with alcohol every night, hoping I don't wake up or somehow die the next day. It can't be by suicide though. Well, physically, my friend catching me chewing handfuls of pills and calling 911. What kept me alive since then is my daughter/loved ones and guilt. Lots of guilt. Cheesecake. Mom would be sad. My dog. Initially, my dog. I got to thinking about how I'd be dumping her off on my family to take care of, and didn't think it was fair. Of course, then I got to thinking how devastated my parents and even Marissa, my sister, would feel. But without the dog, and in the state of mind I was in, I'm not sure if that whole train of thought would have occurred, because I was pretty thoroughly ready to go. I love that dog. Edit, and I don't mean to sound like a maniac who values my dog more than my family, but at that time I thought to myself, I could say goodbye to all the people in my life, and at least they'd know what happened and why, and they'd grieve accordingly. But my dog would never understand. Her favorite person in the world would suddenly disappear and she'd never know what happened or why, and that really hurt me. But this is why we need things outside of ourselves to love and care for. When life becomes narrow and self-centered like it did for me, and things make a turn for the worst, you need to have faith in something besides yourself to keep going. I had a lot of debt I didn't want my family to get stuck with. Now I'm out of debt, but I keep on living. I know my mom or dad would find me, and I can't do that to them after they already found one son died. Being on the other side of it, I was seriously considering it until a family member did it first. Shook our entire family to its core and really snapped me back. I couldn't do it after I saw how it destroyed the ones left behind. My daughter didn't want her growing up without a mother and facing life on her own. The fear of missing out in her life scared me more than death. But I can't leave my daughters with their dad, so stuck here for now. The dying part. I'm outliving my enemies. My sister being heartbroken. Mom would be sad. My little sisters, I wanted them to live a better life than I did, so I stuck around to make it happen. I got a phone call from a friend looking for a ride to another friend's house. Once we got there they gave me some LSD. Between the acid and good company I saw the world a little differently. Checked myself into a crisis center about a month later. I've never regretted that choice. To be honest, I never gave up hope, for some reason. I actually found a lot of confidence in my resilience, so even though lots of bad things and feelings happened and happen, I went through therapy and don't have any actual thoughts anymore. There have been times I genuinely thought about it, but in the end, I never truly felt like doing so, knowing that death means the end, whilst life still has lots of possibilities. I'm quite young, even now, so it's also true that there's still lots of life ahead of me. I haven't met all of the people I will love yet, either. Mom and Cat would be sad. Dad wouldn't care much, sadly it would hurt him, but he'd be over it. But Mom and Cat would be destroyed. I also feel that if I did I wouldn't be able to help the others I have. Just couldn't bring myself to ever do it, even though I contemplated it all the time. Fear of the unknown, I guess. At least with life you kinda know. My mom really loves me. I couldn't do that to her. The pain. I couldn't be bothered. It sounded painful and like a lot of work. And now I feel better, but sometimes it comes back. And I've never been motivated enough to try it. I'm too stubborn to go out that easy. Also, my mama would beat my ass, bless her soul. My wife was out shopping with her mum. My daughter was at school. I vividly remember making a glass of milk, getting my box of pills and going upstairs like it was nothing. Then my wife sent me a text saying not to forget to pick my daughter up from school and that she loved me. I then pictured my daughter just standing alone at school, wondering where her daddy was and why had all the other kids gone home but she hadn't. The thought of her standing there like that killed me. I then realized had I gone through with it she'd have been standing like that for the rest of her life. Antidepressants. Music and loved ones. I think it's mostly my family. I hope I don't lose touch with my brother, because my parents are getting old, and if I lose touch with my brother, I think I'll have nothing left to live for once they are all gone. Pussy, I'm a pussy. Worrying about it not being successful and not being able to try again. A locked door. Float therapy was the only thing that stopped me. I had never tried it and found a flyer in a popular coffee shop and I went to try it and left feeling amazing. Maybe all I needed was silence at that point of time. I also found this nudist group and it felt good to go to this place where nobody gives a fuck about wearing clothes, and something about that brought me back to life. Maybe it's my inner hippie suffocated by city living. I'm in no hurry to die. Finding appreciation in helping others, sparkles. My baby sisters, they are my everything. Because I'm a pussy, and I told myself I'm gonna get to 26 and if I still feel like this then I'll do it then, just move the goalposts I guess. My dog. We play hide and seek, and the thought of her wandering around the house looking for me. Couldn't do that to her. Lack of conviction. Waiting for One Piece to end. Star Wars. This was just before the sequel trilogy started. Sure, they didn't come out great, but my fandom literally stopped me from wrapping my car around a tree. Mom, GF and pets. Can't break those hearts. Changing medicine. Nobody once in 5 years thought that the medicine I was on might have had something to do with my horrible state of mind. Medication and therapy. I had intense suicidal ideation and had a date in mind of when it would happen. The meds kicked in a month before that, and that weekend changed the course of my future. Now, after living with depression for so long, I know that the intrusive thoughts are not my own and that I truly want to live. It'll be 10 years next year of surviving this illness, and I plan on at least 80 more. The hope that he would come back. Seeing how my grandpa's suicide affected my close family and how it affected me even when I never got to meet him. He shot himself in the head in the living room while his mother was sitting on a sofa. My mother and aunt, minors at the time, were having a sleepover at his home too. I know the exact building all this horrible stuff happened, and I used to pass the building often while going to school. The bridge rails stopped my car from going over. Because I know my family will break apart. Had one arrhythmia, and suddenly realized I don't actually want to die. I got a puppy. I figured caring for a dog will give me 10 to 16 years to find a different reason to continue. Or I'll get a new dog, we'll see. I thought about the burden it would put on my family and friends. I laid in my room listening to System of a Down's self-titled album for hours upon hours upon hours on Halloween night junior year of high school, and had the gun to my right and the drugs to the left, and I transcended to a weird place. In that place I discovered myself, and I was not happy with myself. I was, for lack of a better term, a little bitch who saw myself being like my mother, in that she is the type of person to view the world as the world is happening to her, and not that the world simply exists and it's up to me to make my impact. I went to a very dark place that day. I was 17, had gone through quite a bit of physical and mental abuse in one family and neglect and manipulation in another, and I felt so incredibly alone, and I was ready to end it. I wrote the note and everything. Then I discovered a beauty in that, and I embraced it and came out of my transcendent trance, so to speak, and woke up and realized there was much more to life than the misguided thoughts of childish adults who probably should have never had children in the first place, and said fuck it. I did something I was too afraid to do, and I started to stop worrying about what other people thought of me. I became a different person that day, and that transformation was beloved by some and hated by others. I grew a backbone and stopped allowing people to control me and manipulate me. I really focused my energies and affections in the right place. I confronted bullies in my family and at school. Started working various jobs for cash and opportunities. Started dating girls that were once thought of as way out of my league, and I returned to enjoying life and doing things, and I got confidence. A confidence that did not bode well for the family I was living with, and a confidence that was in constant conflict with their aspirations of keeping me down. But I said fuck no, not today, and left the day I graduated high school and struck out on my own.